Good morning, good morning, good morning. God dog it. We're gonna talk this morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm glad I could keep up with the day today, because y'all know how I do. Yeah. We are celebrating Pride Month with Tupac in hand. Okay? Tupac in hand. We are celebrating Pride Month. So I wanted to come and chat with y'all this morning. Get your coffee, get your tea, get your oranges, your fruits, your eggs, bacon, toast, grits, etc. Homemade biscuits. Get all that and come chat with me this morning. I am in love with Pride Month. I love my LGBTQ folks. For those of you who do not know, that is one of the populations that I specialize in working with. And I absolutely try to provide a safe space for the LGBTQ community for so many reasons. And we'll talk about a little bit of that today. One of the beautiful things that I was started here and privileged to experience was I had an LGBTQ support group. It was totally free, and it allowed people to come and we talk about general topics, either specific to something the group wanted to talk about, or I had topics that I would bring up. And I was able to learn a lot, take in a lot, experience a lot, and it was such a gift to me. And so we will be bringing that back for those of you who are tuned into the Mahogany Project, who want to attend the group. We will be bringing that back as soon as I get my intern, a new intern, and get that all set up. We will be bringing the LGBTQ support group back to the Mahogany Project, because that was such a pleasure and a gift. That people really enjoyed. And I know we've had people calling, asking about the group. We are bringing it back. So please be patient with us. Last year, in celebration, in honor really of Pride Month, we did a talk. And so it was a collaborative conversation, which for those of you who participated, I thank you again. And so this month, I have to admit, I was a bit more unprepared. I have had a lot going on with the business, so I have not prepared for Pride Month in the way that I would have wanted to. So what I did decide was that I was going to get on this morning and just have a conversation. And I hope to have one other thing in honor of Pride Month later on this month, but also we'll have a blog coming out on the website. So make sure you're subscribed to the Mahogany Project, projek.com. We'll have a blog coming out later on this month. So look out for that. But I really, this specific year, I really want to, which we kind of did last year, I want to focus on my Black folks in the LGBTQ community for several reasons. I am well aware that when, the LGBTQ community is spoken of or talked about, it's not really focused on Black folks in that community. And that's really important to me. As y'all, like I said, I mentioned a little earlier, I work with a lot of folks in the LGBTQ community, from couples to trans folks to, non-binary folks. And it's such a pleasure and joy to just hear their stories, and such a gift to be a part of their journey and healing. And I'm going to say this. I think the whole concept of this live this morning is really focused on the idea of being able to love without acceptance, or and I don't even want to say acceptance. I use the word agreement, because I find that people insert themselves in other people's lives and try to dictate what they believe is right, wrong, or otherwise, and then, base their love or respect on their relationship based on this person's particular choices, and we're going to say choices in this specific conversation around sexuality and gender identity. And that's not okay. It's not okay. When did we become so possessive over the sexuality and identity of others? When did that become our business? When did that become our journey to dictate the lives of others in that way? I know that so much of society has taken it upon themselves to criticize, create an idea of what's beautiful, what's not, what's right, what's wrong, what's wrong with you, what and it has created a very dangerous space where people feel almost obligated to condemn you, judge you, have an opinion about what you can have an opinion about, but infringe that opinion upon people, and they feel attached or ownership to the identity and sexuality of others. It's nothing to do with nothing, right? That's people own their sexuality and their identity individually. That's not a group or collaborative experience. And for, I'm wearing these glasses today because y'all know I don't usually wear glasses in live, but this is one of my pride honors. I don't even have on my, listen, as a total side note, all of these companies do these random like pride products, and they're not always delicious, or, they make food or good products. But I'm gonna tell you what, platform Tivas, I bought the ones last year that had the black straps, the Pride edition, son, the platforms, son. Okay, I don't have them on today, but we will catch those later on this week. Okay, that was a total side note. I get off track sometimes. But I really struggle with this idea that we attach ourselves so much to other people's identity or sexuality that infringes on our ability to have a productive relationship with them. Why is that? Right? That is theirs. They live their lives with it and they die with it. Just like we, I will simply say love is not determined by our perception of right and wrong in someone's identity, right? Where does the unconditional piece come in? Where does that happen? Because I want to be clear. In most circumstances, love is very conditional, right? And I think that that's not talked about enough. I think it's not talked about enough when we love the idea of love, and we love the idea of acceptance, and we love the idea of appreciation, but we struggle with those concepts in real time. Like when it comes to challenges, when it comes to having an opinion or making judgments, or not agreeing with someone's lifestyle or choices that they make, we then insert, or, that impacts our love, appreciation, acceptance of them. And how does that work, right? The whole concept of individuality and uniqueness is just that we are not all the same, that we all, have different journeys and experiences and perspectives, and those in their own spaces are unique and valuable. And how do we honor that, right? I really underline the word honor, because I think there's a way to do that, even if you don't agree with, right? Nobody's asking you to agree or not to agree. It's really about love, respect. Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. Love, respect, and openness. I also will say that I think how often do we research? Do we explore? Do we ask questions? Do we allow ourselves the opportunity to get to know more? That's also just as valuable. We say that we want people to see us and we want them to get to know us. But how often do we really give people that opportunity? Vice versa, that's so valuable. we very often, and I'm saying we is, and I'm including myself in this, we very often make judgments, criticisms, and or determinations about people before we've even given them the opportunity of curiosity, right? Why is that? That is something I will have to say that I have been very mindful about, is giving people the opportunity of curiosity. Let me be curious about them. Let me ask questions. Let me listen more, and talk less. I want to be given the opportunity to be gifted with this being, this soul, this spirit, in whatever space that is, and then take it from there, right? Let's not make any preconceived notions, even though we do. Let's kind of rein those in and be able to adjust those according to information that we get. Now, again, I don't have to agree with every decision someone makes, or I don't have to um, align myself with their lifestyle, whatever that means. But I can love them. I can share with them. I can have a productive relationship with them. I can care about them. I can embrace them. I can be open to other ideas. There's so much that I can do outside of simply agreeing or not agreeing with some of their choices or their lifestyle, right? There's such a vast space in that, that I think needs to be acknowledged and catered to. Pride Month, in my thought process anyway, means so many things, from acknowledgement to love to compassion to consideration to thoughtfulness to understanding to appreciation to value. So many concepts I'm kind of throwing in the pot when I think of Pride Month, and when I think of the LGBTQ community and the sacrifices, the endurance, the persistence, consistency, the value in you know, embracing who they are even against adversity, you know, all of those things I think of when I think of the LGBTQ community. Um, and there's just not enough resources. There's not enough spaces um, for that community to exist. And so I really value and made a point to make the Mahogany Project one of those spaces, specifically for Black folks and for Black folks in the LGBTQ community. That's what this was created for, right? I don't know if I've ever shared with you all where I started to grasp and like really got attached to me specializing and working with the LGBT community. Years ago, I worked for a city entity, and I had, now again, prior to that experience, I had worked with folks in the LGBTQ community, but for whatever reason, this experience stuck with me, and it was actually very life changing for me. Um, I was working with a trans woman, and initially I didn't do, in the role that I was in, I didn't do individual counseling sessions, but because this particular client was struggling, I started to do individual counseling sessions with them, again because I was just so interested and invested, and I wanted to support and all of that. And so in that process, this person really challenged me and just highlighted some of the inequalities and challenges that the LGBTQ community endures, and specifically this person, because they are part of the LGBTQ community. And I just became like so overwhelmingly attached and wanted to know more and wanted to do more and wanted to invest more. And that kind of started my journey in specializing and working with this community. And I am again, not being in the community, I'm constantly researching and asking and learning and growing and being curious. And I've learned so much, and that has been a gift. But also because I've been open, and I know, um I'll speak specifically to the African American community, the Black folks, right? We can do better on embracing and loving and supporting, even if we don't agree. We can do better on that whole word around unconditional, right? We could do better. We could do better with doing our own research. We could do better with just being curious and asking questions, right? We can do better. No, is it, their responsibility to educate you? No. But do I also stand on the side of, like, if I want someone to be curious about me, I also want to be able to give them information without them having to guess. So I kind of stand on both sides of that, if you will. I want to read one of the comments. People don't want to create an opportunity for someone to draw a conclusion different than theirs. Yeah. I mean, and it's challenging, because you would think, excuse me. It's challenging because you would think, we all want that opportunity. We all want the opportunity to tell our story and be understood and heard. We all want that opportunity, I would think. That's a gift, being able to tell your story in the way that you see it, you perceive it, and you experienced it, versus someone making a determination off of a story they have no part of, right? They're just standing on the outside of. I would imagine we all want that opportunity. And there was so much beauty in curiosity. So I hope, not for nothing, the whole takeaway from this is you don't have to agree. Nobody's asking you. Excuse me, I'm not asking you to agree. But what I am saying is be curious. You can still love. You can still care. You can still support. You can still be open. You can still ask questions. You can still lay in that space and not having to agree, right? You don't have to agree. I've worked with so many families of individuals in the LGBTQ community, whether it was them, for lack of better words, socially coming out, getting a clarity or understanding for so many different reasons. And in that space, it's not about agreement. You don't have to agree with anything. You can disagree with whatever you want. The idea is that you can disagree and still love, still have compassion for, still have consideration for. You can still do that and not agree, if that makes sense. Do I think that folks find that really like a struggle? For sure. For sure. In so many other spaces. Being Black is hard enough. Being Black is hard enough. I just, as I said it, the cherry on top is love. You can give that. That's free. Not really, but we'll get to that in a whole nother live. You can give love. You can give compassion. You can give support, even if you don't agree. I want to really highlight that you can do that. You can allow yourself the opportunity to create a safe space for someone who doesn't have one. That's a privilege. That's a gift, right? You can still do that. And that's a choice. whenever you choose to make those kinds of choices, um, be clear on the impact. Be clear on the impact when you choose not to support or be considerate or be compassionate or give love. Um, be clear about the impact and the ripple effects, right? Because there are always going to be things in our lives that we choose or that we do or how we live our lifestyle that people do not agree with. But that doesn't mean we want them to value us any less or care about us any less. Um, excuse me. It doesn't mean we want any of that. We still want to be able to live our lives in the way that we see fit while having people that love us, value us, and care about us. So I hope that y'all were able to take something away from this morning. Do y'all have any questions, challenges, issues with anything that I said? While y'all are writing that, in the meantime, tag a friend, tag a friend, tag a friend. Make sure that you like, subscribe to my YouTube page. I have some new content coming out there, and the podcast Take This Shit Personal, the Barefoot Therapist on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend to subscribe. We'll have some new content coming out soon there. And this will also be on YouTube if you want to check this out again. And I think it'll also remain on Facebook. So you can still do that. If you haven't gotten your books, Finding Me and or the Conversation Journal for Couples, make sure you check that out. We'll have some more products, and I say will as me. I'll have some more products coming to you soon by the end of the year. That's kind of what I'm looking at. The podcast will restart in the fall for an additional 10 episodes. So be looking out for that. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you subscribe. We'll be bringing some really cool information to you. And I have this really dope ass interim couple of episodes that will be coming out, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm kind of finishing up the project. So please make sure you look out for that also. That will be coming out. That will be released on YouTube. It's a few segments of interviews, and I just think y'all will really, 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 really enjoy this. So make sure that y'all subscribe and check that out. But if there's nothing else, I just want to provide love, share love from my space to yours. Find a safe space for yourself today, and don't be afraid to provide a safe space for someone else. Till next time, peace.